This film brings back fond memories for Tony Morgan, who worked at Pontypool Road in the 1950s.
We are now at Pontypool Road, where I worked as a young lad. There is Jimmy Watkins, an old engine driver, which I knew quite well, with his oil can, doing his preparation before he goes out on a train. There's a small tanky engine, which works in the sidings. I think that's Leonard and his driver on one of the sidings. That's Bill Harris. That's Ted Ashman. He was one of the good drivers. Early hours of the morning, they used to send you out on an old-fashioned bike, a great big sit-up-and-beg thing, around Griffithstown and Sebastopol, where most of the engine drivers lived, to call them out to make sure they wasn't late to get into work, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And you'd be no lights, it'd be pitch black, and you'd be walking up the garden path, and you get to the door, and you just go on the knock it, and the door would open, and the driver said, "Don't you dare knock this door," he said. "Wake my wife up. I'm awake. I'll be in." I said, "Okay, thank you very much," and run off. Different engines needed different fires, and you obviously got to learn about this. You had the haystack fire, the saucer fire, the hill fire, each corner fire. Each one had a different way, and they would steam better. Have a code that once the banker got up behind the train, he would tell the front train by going beep, 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 and the front one would do the same, and off you'd go.
Opened in 1857, this engineering marvel stood 200 feet at its highest point. Tony Morgan fired trains over it a century later.
There were several viaducts, but there was nothing like Crumlin Viaduct, because when you were up there, the wind, it was quite high. There was only a small door on the western engine, so it was right through and it'd be blowing you. Very, very exciting, really, because you were way up, and I used to go over there all hours of the night and all hours of the day.
Taking 70 wagons of coal up and down the valleys of Wales is preserved only on enthusiasts' films and in the memories of railwaymen like Tony Morgan.
Here we have an old video, and after watching it, I just could not believe it. It took me back right to where I was a young lad working on the railway, and the sounds, the smoke, the smell, everything was great on the railway, and it was lovely to put your head out through the side and just smell